We begin with Richie McCaw, 112 tests, more than any other All Black. 100 test victories, more than any other All Black, but still very much their captain, which makes this a surprisingly revealing book and a really good read too. Richie McCaw, The Open Side, with Greg McGee. I spoke to Richie McCaw this afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of Rugby World Cup 2011, our team, world champions, New Zealand!
You talk about the 4 years, the sort of 4-year tunnel, and there is an extraordinary acknowledgement of your understanding as a role of, as captain, as All Black captain, and what that entails. But the pressure was absolutely phenomenal, wasn't it?
Yeah, when I look back, yeah, there was certainly a lot of pressure there. But I think you acknowledge that comes with being an All Black. There's pressure there anyway, but you know, I guess a World Cup thing that had built up over years made it bigger. The thing I learned is if you take it all on your own shoulders and feel like you're on your own, that's when it could get to the point where it inhibits you. And I sort of tried to show that it was a real team effort of helping each other along the way and looking at ways of getting better. And there was ups and downs all the way through that. You know, those downs are the times you'll probably learn the most. That, you know, your men beside you that you trust and rely on, that sort of puts it to the side somewhat and you can try and do it. But the pressure was there, but that's why it's so rewarding, is that you come through that, I suppose. If it was easy, then would you appreciate it as much? I'm not sure.
Offside, and the rugby world is finally All Black again.
At the end of the final, there's this magic moment. The whistle's just blown, you've won the game. In fact, I think the ball's just been kicked out. I'm not even entirely convinced the whistle has blown. It's in the process of being blown. And I think you were Stephen Donald and I can't remember who else, and you three of you are just elated, and you say, and we'll put the footage up so the viewers can see for themselves what you're saying, because I can't say the word at 7 o'clock, but it is, we something did it.
Yeah, I think it was to Ali Williams. He was the first one that I guess I consoled with in 2007. There's a photo of him and I sort of wondering what the hell had gone wrong, and then I remember saying that, it was sort of like, hell, we've done it. And we have more coarse language than that, but yeah, it was one of those moments that, you know, Ali and I had been good mates, you know, he'd worked obviously pretty hard to get back on the field, but it was pretty special when you look back.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I guess, you know, I said a while ago, the fact that we got tested as much as you could ever get tested and come through, that's what I find a huge amount of satisfaction with now, and yeah, glad we got there.
It's very revealing in this book, the moments that I didn't think anyone had noticed. At the beginning of Locked and Loaded, you talk about Jerry Collins. Jerry Collins gets an early release from the NZRU contract and is gone with some not very gracious words from Ted ringing in his ears, which doesn't help Ted's battle to win back the hearts and minds of Kiwi rugby fans. Jerry's only 27, same age as me. And what surprises me is the rapidity of his decline. One moment he's the warrior with an unquenchable thirst for battle, and man, we all remember that, Jerry Collins. Yeah. And the next he's had enough, all appetite gone. When the desire goes, the body and form aren't far behind. And I sort of thought at the time no one had really noticed the awful way he left and the quick way it happened. But you, man, you were registering it all, weren't you?
Yeah, we see it because you know, I played a lot of rugby from under-19s right through with Jerry, and you know, we were out in the field a lot of times together, and you know, I guess as a loose forward you rely on each other to sort of see a guy, you know, 1 minute he's a guy beside you to the next minute he's not. You do notice that. I guess that's the nature of this game, is that, you know, it can happen just like that with injury or whatever, but yeah, you do notice that and you feel for those guys, and I suppose it keeps reality for yourself as well.
So how did you stop it happening? How the hell hasn't happened to you? I was in Dunedin when the ball bounced off the post. You know, you must have been buggered by that stage of the game. That'd have been a tough old game. And who's the first man on the spot? You are. How many games? What was that, your 110th All Black game?
Yeah. And
you're the first bugger there. So how hasn't it happened to you?
From that example, I suppose I remember thinking, lining up in halfway, I was like, oh, if this doesn't go dead or it bounces off the post, I'm going to have to carry on tackling, and I was knackered. So I thought, one last little burst of energy, and thank goodness I did. But you ask why why you do that. I don't know. I think it's got to be something deep within, you know, and you set goals and whatever, but you got to actually believe in what you're doing. Every time you have a poor performance or one you're not happy with, that's the last one. You don't remember the ones that were good, the one before. I don't know the answer. I guess it's just that desire to be as good as you can or the best, and that's sort of what keeps me going, I guess.
Let's talk about some of for me, the photo of the book is this extraordinary photo when you didn't win in Brisbane, and you played every game away. Did you have one game at the beginning of the season, or every game away from home?
Every game was out of Christchurch.
Every game was out of Christchurch.
Yeah.
And you were in Maryvale on the day.
Yeah.
You were at the mall, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I was on crutches at the time. Kieran and I were having a feed of sushi. Pretty scary time, really. But talk about a fairy tale, what could have been. A lot of people sort of say, oh, you could have excuses, or oh, you did pretty well. But yeah, the competitive nature in me, and I know guys like Brad Thorne were bitterly disappointed that we hadn't got there. But
because for people who don't know what we're talking about, so you played every single game in the Super Competition away from home, every single one.
And we lost the final.
And it was a miracle even being in the final.
Yeah, it was. But you got there, you might as well have won it. You know, that was our sort of opinion. But as I think I've said a bit later on in the book, the game doesn't care about fairy tales, or you've got to go and do the job. And we came up against a Reds team that, you know, probably better than us on the day, and that's the way it is, I suppose.
You played 112 games as an All Black, and you won 100 of them.
Yeah, it's pretty special, really. You've got to be part of a pretty good team to be able to do that, but I've loved every minute of it, and hence I'm still doing it, because I don't seem to be able to get enough.
Do you still love it as much as the first few times when there must have been this sense of wonder and something miraculous happening? Is it still as great as it was?
It is. It is great, but it's in a different way. I think first of all, it's a dream come true, and you want to prove yourself that you're a worthy All Black and stuff. And it changes a little bit where you still want to do that, but it's about the team doing really well, and you want to, like being captain, for example, I want to be best captain, you know, and I still think I can be better, and I think that sort of drive is hugely important. You know, as soon as I thought I couldn't get any better or I had done enough, well then you're going to just peter out and you're going to stop enjoying it. But so lucky at the moment, you've got a bunch of men who are all, I guess, been around a long time, who all have that same sort of desire, and you feed off each other. And you know, Saturday night after winning in Soweto, sitting there having a beer with the boys, like, why you'd even want to go and do anything else, I can't fathom. One day I'll have to, but I just can't get enough of that sort of feeling.
It's great talking to you, Richie, and the book is fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it.
Is the book out now?